He didn't. He didn't.
Hello, beautiful people. How is everybody?
Good.
Good. Evan, sound check. Good. Yes.
I think so. I believe so. You tell me.
Yes. It's working.
Cool.
It's working. And yeah, all good. All right, let's see who else joins us. And then, well, I got a message from Mark that he would be joining us, but a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
And Fiona cannot make it because of time zone. It's in the middle of the night for her. And Chris has another call. Yeah, we'll see. Is it cold where you are, Angela?
Oh, it's the dog's in and out time. Oh, it's
Okay,
just
I see.
constant. I need a pony flap so that they can just go in and out themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, I have that for the cat, but obviously that's a different size animal, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean,
But
I
they do
imagine it's
the
kind of
big
cold where
ones.
you are, isn't it, Dan? Just not not in your house.
I always have it heated nice and cozy because I grew up in Africa and I like it warm, right? And I don't like wearing heavy clothes. I just don't like it. And so yes, it's warm here but cold outside. But not that cold. I don't know where are you, Angela? You're Midlands somewhere?
Suffolk, so near Cambridge,
Yeah,
Norfolk,
so
sort of
like
in the middle.
sort of in the middle of England, right? And see, England is I always make fun because we live on an island, number one. Number two, it's an archipelago. It is, and it is situated in the Gulf Stream. So, because of
Oh,
that, we have much warmer weather than if you go straight across to the United States. And this is very interesting to see the old capital of Norway. I forget what it's called, but it's about halfway up on the Norwegian coast. The weather there, of course, it's cold in the winter, but it's very mild. If you go across, you're like in deep, like Canada, Alaska, that territory. So it's all because we get this Gulf Stream. And so here, where I am, it hardly ever snows. And I'm north of London. So we had snow this year, but it melted like 2, 3 hours later. And it wasn't even, covering everything. And most likely that'll be it for this year.
Yeah, I mean, it's very similar to the way California works. So it's just like it's always nice in California, but then if you look at the other side of the United States, like, ugh. So,
Yeah. Yeah, they probably have similar currents. I remember El Nino current was there or something in Mexico. So maybe that's similar, like the Gulf
yeah,
Stream in
I
the
think they all
Atlantic
move in the same like
direction.
counterclockwise. So if you're on
Yeah,
like the west coast of a continent, then you're
yeah,
gonna always
yeah.
get the warm. Or I guess, but no, I guess not if you're the southern hemisphere like blows my mind because like there's not too much in the southern hemisphere. I mean, you get South America and Australia and stuff, but like largely, I don't think about that like that side of the country or that side of the world like at all. I mean, everything spins the other way and it's like works the opposite, different seasons. But like, yeah, I mean, I'm pretty know, well traveled or like I feel like I'm like more global than, most Americans. And yet it's still just like, everything I know is just northern hemisphere, like across the whole place. Or at least just like on the equator, right? I mean not a distanced way away from the equator in the southern hemisphere.
Same for me. I haven't been south of the equator much. Well, where I lived in Kenya was south of the equator, but like, 50
And
miles or
yeah.
something like that. But further, as far as I've gone north, I haven't gone south ever, so I don't know either. What I love about the equator is that the sun rises and sets at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. because we humans, we like, consistency. So it's really, yeah, you get used to it so nicely. I love it.
That was my only question that I was just about to ask. To like ask like how does that feel? Because I wouldn't like it at all. Because you miss out of the seasons that way.
Well, yes, of course. Um, but to be fair, right? If you grow up there, you don't know the seasons that you know, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So the season in Kenya and it's many places, um, equator-wise, that I've visited, you usually have a dry season and a wet season. And
Mm.
in the wet season, it just rains a lot more and almost like constantly. Whereas in the dry season, it still rains, but much less. And so that's how it is in Kenya. It's dry
Mm.
and wet season. You
Yeah,
just get used to it. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
obviously there isn't, and it's
sounds relatively similar to Texas. I mean, it's like just mild all year long, but yeah, you have like tornado and like storm season, and then you have like the dog days of summer, where it's just like everything's dried up and
yeah,
dead.
yeah. No, I like the predictability of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. sunrise, sunset. I really like that, and also the duration of twilight is really short, so it gets dark almost from 1 minute to the next, and not gradually.
Huh?
Uh, speaking of that sunlight and daylight and stuff, has any one of you ever experienced a full solar eclipse, as
Mm,
in being right there and completely dark?
yeah, 3 times.
How cool! I only had it once, and that was in Kenya. And I would be interested, what was your experience? Because for me, it was like really freaky.
Yeah, it was cool. I mean, we had one in Oregon here in 2017 or 14, 15, something like that. And then, so that was my first one. Um, uh, and then, yeah, we had like another one 3 years later. And then I went to Patagonia the year between that. But yeah, once I had my first one, it was like, oh my, that's kind of like it. Definitely gonna go do this again. But it was super crazy because yeah, I mean, like all of the animals started coming out and being like, wait, what's going on? Like thinking it was like nighttime and stuff. Like we were out in at a music festival, like so they're in the woods and with the lake and all of those kinds of things. But yeah, I mean like the beavers and like the uh um what do you prairie dogs like all like came out and like what's going on, and then yeah just for like the like 3 minutes of just like complete complete nighttime, but then yeah, and then all of a sudden it started getting bright again, and everybody's like, oh, okay, we're not supposed to be out here, and they all ducked back in. But
What about the daytime animals?
uh, oh yeah, the birds, like because it was like yeah, hey, birds tweeting and doing the things, but yeah, like the birds were the biggest telltale sign because it was like, hey, in the middle of the day, it's not like they're all like making a ton of noise, but you hear the birds doing their thing, and then there's everything just like shut up, like it was like silent, it's like nothing, and then like just 3 minutes goes by, and like the sun starts coming back, and then the birds are all like, oh, it's morning time, and like tweet 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 tweet, and so yeah.
That's exactly what happened in Kenya. The nighttime animals I didn't notice. Maybe it's because where I was, but the daytime animals, they're so noisy, and with the solar eclipse, it went dead quiet.
Yeah.
It's like everybody was like, "What the hell?" Like imagine, in older cultures that people who, were savvy in astronomy could really use that to control the population.
Mhm.
and it's like the end of the world is nigh and stuff like that.
Yeah, look what you've done, all you naughty people.
Yeah.
But it's like that when we have like summer in Sweden and it's like not dark or just like it's not it's the same. You hear like the birds are keep going on until like 1 in the night or after midnight, and then they shut up for like 20 minutes and then they start again. Yeah, it's really like when you sit outside, it's so nice because you have like, oh, it's evening. Oh, there we go again. It's
So
really
I'm guessing that Swedish farmer or northern farmers, they probably don't keep a rooster because that thing will be going all the time in the summer, right?
It's also not very practical because well, yeah, it costs a lot to keep them warm in the winter because you need to have them inside and with heating lamps and this and that. So
Yeah.
not something they really do. What are you gonna do? Yeah, but that's not working. No.
Salve, Mark.
Hey there. Sorry I'm late.
No
I
worries.
was supposed to have an onboarding, but the person in question didn't show up even though we were supposed to meet us at 15 minutes ago.
Wow.
It can happen.
Yeah, and what just came to mind as he said that, because another person recently said that. I think it was Mindy who experienced this, made a post. So as we grow and we do onboarding for our paid stuff and products, you can totally ask them to pay you like $10, a small amount for
I'm
that
just
tool.
saying it was me being onboarded.
Oh, okay.
That's
Oh,
even worse.
That's even worse. That's even worse.
Especially since it
I've
was a
been
paid
that guy just a
subscription.
handful of times, but yeah, so I can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, if you have high ticket products, you can ask the person to pay, and it can even be, if it's high ticket, you can ask them to pay 100, and will fully be reimbursed either way. If you buy, it'll be credited to the product. If you don't buy, you'll get it back. But it makes the person show up, right, and not just waste your time.
Yep, having skin in the game.
Yeah, but that's first necessary when you have big numbers and stuff, and you need to have some way to filter people because it is annoying.
Well, plus,
Hello,
it's a way to
Keith.
get their card on file
Hi.
before
Yeah.
the full purchase. So
Yeah,
makes
yeah.
it easier to upsell.
And that's what I love about Skool, because most people have their card on file, right? It's nice.
Yeah, and if you don't, that's one of my rule number 27 or whatever, is like here, like coming up with your a cheap, super valuable product for like $2, $3, anything to get that first thing in. Because if you're acquiring off of Skool, like that's going to be your biggest hurdle. It's not even like anything outside of that. It's how do I get that first dollar in whatever aspect it is. So
Yeah, in marketing back in the day when I learned that, they called that the tripwire. Very small price, and it's not only for having the card on file, it's psychologically, because the person had to evaluate, do I trust Evan with $1, and then
And they had to reach out for their card.
yeah, and once they've done that, now when you ask for 27 or 47, they're no longer evaluating, do I trust Mark, because they already have. They're now evaluating, do I trust this product, or compare one product to another. No longer about the product and do I trust this person.
I tend to respect people more than that. With me, a tripwire isn't even necessary. So if I really like a person, I'll have no problem investing hundreds, if not thousands, in them later. But that's after the initial relationship has been established. And for me, the relationship is crucial. If you don't build that, then nothing else is going to happen.
Yeah.
Hey, Keith.
Hey, Keith.
Hi, how's it going? You can't hear me, huh?
Yeah,
we
we
can hear you.
Oh, okay. Oh, there it is. It wasn't lighting up. All right.
All right. No, it's all good. It's all working.
I like your background, Angela. It's kind of trippy. The
Blinds.
blinds, you know. Yeah, like the light reflects.
Is it? Should I had to take him. Oh, I do like a. Oh, he's not even put the legs on so that I can close them. He do. I do like a Christmas. It's like a Scottish thing. You have to clean, and by New Year's Eve, the house has to be zero untidiness, zero dust, zero anything anywhere. Yeah, if you're going to sit on the sofa, then make sure that you keep your knees together and you sit up. No, I'm only kidding, but it literally is like a crazy Scottish tradition before New Year's.
Awesome.
That's
They had a clean.
Is that because the mother-in-law is coming over or something?
Oh God, no. No. It's a Scottish thing. So how you have your house on Hogmanay with the 31st, if that goes over into the 1st, that's how your house is going to be the entire year. That's how your health is going to be. The relationship you have, that's how. Yeah. So it's a big.
That makes sense. And when you just mentioned the 31st, something came to mind that I'm wondering whether, Mindy, Belgium, you have the same, because I know the Dutch, they don't celebrate New Year, they celebrate Old Year. It's like on the 31st, they celebrate letting go of the old year and celebrating everything that happened, not the start of the new year. That's how they do it in the Netherlands.
Oh.
So no, in Belgium, no.
Well, I never really realized. I thought it was something that went together. You celebrate the old one and the new one is coming, and I never realized that there was a difference.
Yeah, so of course I do the same, right? But it's called, New Year, and we toast to Happy New Year, and of course we think of the past year, and we're grateful and all of that. But it's called Happy New Year.
Yeah.
With the Dutch, I'll double check. With my daughter, she lives there, but I'm pretty sure they call it Happy Old Year.
Yeah. They say that
Yeah.
But that's how you say it when you say like Merry Christmas and a good end of the year. That's the translation is a good end of the year.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
It's
I know
really-
they just go out with a bang and a lot of fireworks, and I never want to be there because it's like a war zone. So no, seriously, it really is.
No, here in England too. That's why I'm laughing. Well, where I am in England, they start like way before and go way over.
Yeah, they're already like it starts in October, November already in Netherlands, and they just go bananas. It's
Same for Angela. Yeah, you're nodding.
There are some people behind that did some fireworks a few weeks back, but I don't see very much here.
Are they still alive?
What the people? I couldn't find them. I didn't know who they were. But my Hunter basically threw himself at the glass door.
Yeah.
I was on a call at the time, and he just jumped completely out of his skin, bless him. So I was like, oh, okay, I have that to fix now.
Dan, I have a question. Is there any special agenda for today?
No, there isn't. You can lead the call if you like.
No, I'm not proposing myself or anything.
No,
Wondering.
So first of all, right, this is the last call for this year. Okay. I purposely wrote it the way I did. We obviously pick up next year again, but when I saw on the school news last week that they're not going to do the school news for the next 2 weeks, I just followed suit and also canceled the Skool Buddies, because when I go back to before I took my hiatus, so about 3-4 years ago, I work myself up to a place where I would take the whole month of December off.
Mhm.
I didn't run communities though, so this was purely, no coaching calls, nothing, just off. And so with running communities, it's different. So I thought when it is free communities, we should do that. When it's paid and people are paying for a certain number of calls, then yeah, we might have to do it a bit different, right? But
Mhm.
since this is a free community, I think we should do that, and not only to give us a break as community owners, but in this Christmas time, usually it's hectic for people, right? They're rushing to buy Christmas gifts and thinking of Angela cleaning the house, pick and span, right? So people have stuff to do, and so you end up running these calls, and hardly anybody shows up, right?
Mhm.
And so that's why I decided, especially when I saw Sam doing that, I was like, "Ha, say no more," And so yeah, next 2 weeks, no Skool Buddies live, but then again, like the second week of January after the New Year, because that's also a thing. New Year's is another thing where people don't like to go back to work straight away, So yeah,
Mhm.
but
Yeah,
other than that,
that's how we're doing Notion Wizards as well. Yeah, this week
cool.
is the last week.
Come to think of it, mine would have happened on Christmas and New Year's Eve. No way, not happening.
Yeah, I mean, no, and as long as you like communicate that, and then it becomes a thing, right? So for next year, people will already know there won't be any calls during the usually, I would say, at least middle of December, all the way till, I don't know, about the 5th of January, or first 7 days. Just keep those days free. But then, like I said, if you have a paid community and you're promising a call a week, like I do in one of my communities, then yeah, we'll have to figure out how that works. But yeah,
Mhm.
and I'm not doing the whole Christmas thing like probably Sam is gonna do in half an hour. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, I saw Kelvin hyping it up just a few minutes ago.
Oh yeah, it's today, isn't it? Instead, goodness.
Mm. Yeah, I don't remember when he said it on the last call, but he was mentioning it's moved to today because he's flying out tomorrow or something.
Mhm.
That's why. Yeah.
Mind you, he does get access to a lot of information, but then again, he's practically buddy with the people at HQ.
Yeah. In his community, where I was a member for a year, in many of his videos in the classroom, he mentioned how he has calls with Sam, and yeah, so I wouldn't be surprised that he knows a little bit more than I do. So, guys, what you have planned for your communities for Christmas, New Year? Because when you think about it, New Year's is a community event, right? So,
I don't have anything planned for that holiday season time.
Yeah, looks like the
I
onboarding is
am
gonna
going.
happen. Excuse
What?
me.
What?
Mark has to leave.
Oh, okay. Bye.
It's all right.
No, I am going to redo everything. So I'm just going to take the time that everybody has no time, and I'm just gonna redo the whole thing. I just want everything different. So I'm gonna use the time that nobody's like needing me, or yeah, use the time wisely.
Yeah, that's a very good idea, and that's something I coach in my Karma Noodle community. And this is also, years ago when I worked up to that, what initially when I started and I was doing coaching calls, I had calls at any time of the day, any day of the week. all over the place, because it was just a few calls, right? So I wanted to be available. But then as that grew, it became very tiring, because you basically have the day gone, even if it's just 2 calls, because you have to show up, right? And so one day I learned about this question from Tim Ferriss: what would this look like if it were super simple? Like you just wave a magic wand. And I was like, well, I wouldn't do calls all over the week. I would put them together on one day. And so I moved everything to the beginning of the week. And it then came that I only worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and later Thursday. Yeah, something like that. And then I worked myself up to take 1 week off per month. And in that week, I always said, when I don't work is when I do my best work, because you don't have to show up to calls, or have, people booking calls with you. You just have a week where you can focus on your work. And so what you just said, Mindy, yeah, totally makes sense. This is good. Very good.
Yeah, and apparently everybody's going to step down for some weeks, so I
Yeah.
don't need to step down. I can just put my focus into something else, because
Yeah,
for
yeah.
me there's nothing special going on. So
Yeah.
Like permanently
Yep.
step down, or what's up?
what?
Like permanently step down, or you mean just step away for a short period of time?
Well, yeah, like I don't know what they said anymore. Damn, sorry.
That's
Brain.
okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, because everybody's like going, just like taking those weeks off, no calls anywhere, nobody's doing anything. So
Okay, so they're like
I guess
stepping
so.
away for periods.
Yeah,
Okay.
stepping away. Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to make
Yeah.
sure I understood properly.
No, I'm still here. I'll be back.
Yeah, I didn't even know you went on a trip, honestly. I was
I
surprised I
drove
saw that
home
post.
again. So yeah, it
Yeah.
was an exciting ride.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad
What
it
is
was
what is home now, or what are you actually referring to when you say home?
Sweden.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm back in my own house now. Yay!
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's nice to be home. Well, for me it's home, but for her it's new again. So I took her now already to 8 places to sleep, so it's all starting to be a little confusing. But yeah.
I didn't realize that you kept your house whenever you were doing the whole van walking excursion thing. It sounded like, yeah, what is like, nope, packing up almost. I'm just getting out of
No,
here.
no, I have my house and it's paid, so it's not really. It's only electricity and normal bills that stay when I go, so it's fine.
Gotcha.
So,
Yeah, that's how mine would be. Uh, yeah, I mean, I haven't had a job for 3 years, but like my house has a well, and out in the country, I pay like maybe $100 a month for like utilities. Uh, and it's like that, come up with $100, like no problem in a month. Like, so, yeah, I'd be happy to just be like, all right, I'm out of here. I'll just leave the
yeah.
house and go do something else.
Damn,
You're
you
on the pro plan.
Yeah.
Yeah, the previous house I had also had a well, and we had a completely other paying system, because I don't know, there is a strange thing going on in Sweden. You have 4 zones, and the lower zone where I live now is the most expensive to live. But that's with everything, with like your waste water stuff, with your trash, with your electricity, water, everything goes up, goes down in price when you live more up north.
Just like,
It's
just
yeah,
uh,
there's really like a line, just like it's in 4 zones, and for some reason it's much more expensive to live here than
are
a
you in the
few
same are you in the same zone as like Stockholm and like,
I'm yeah, a little bit more down, 4 hours down.
yeah, but still the same zone, like that Stockholm's still in part of that zone.
I wonder, yeah, I think it's the same zone, yeah.
Could it be, Mindy, the further north you go, the less populated Sweden is,
Yeah, it is, yeah.
right? And so maybe yeah, it has to do with that, catering for more people.
Well, for the people that come and I don't know, electricity comes from up north, I suppose. I think we all have. I
Mm.
think the electricity even comes from. I don't know. It's just. It's like it's not a big. It's sometimes like triple or more the price. So it's insane. Like there, I
Mm.
paid like in comparison for my trash, I paid 180 euros per year. Here, I pay 100 per month,
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah,
which is like
that is a difference.
yeah, and even one person household or five doesn't matter. You know, you get the
Mm.
bin and you pay for the bin.
Mm.
Well, yeah, I don't want to
In
go up north anymore. So
in
happy to.
Switzerland, they have a system where they charge you for the bin bag, the liner you put in the bin.
Mhm.
You buy it in the supermarket, right? But it's taxed, and you're only allowed to use those bags.
Yeah.
And when you use those bags, that then teaches you not to put, recyclable stuff in there because it becomes very expensive very quickly, right? So you actually
Yeah.
only have rubbish in there.
The same in
I,
Belgium.
yeah, I find that pretty useful.
It is, but the bags are really expensive.
Yeah, they
But
are
yeah,
really. And here in England, the system, well, where I live, but it's probably the same with Angela, we have these different plastic bins, and one is for recycle, one is for, rubbish, one is for grass cuttings, and it's included in your council tax, we call it here. It's
oh,
probably equal to property tax in the States because it goes according to how much your building is that you live in.
which also doesn't make any sense. Why don't they like it should be like calculated on how many people are in the household.
Yeah, and how much income somebody has, I would say. Here, if a very rich person lives in band A, they pay hardly any council tax. And if they live in like what is it called?
Excellent.
L or something, the higher the alphabet letter, the bigger the mansion, right?
Okay.
So they pay a lot. So yeah, if you want, you can. Yeah, it's different. But what I meant to say here, where I live, the recycling, because you have these two big bins, you naturally do it. Why would you put, something in your trash when it's recyclable? And in Switzerland, apparently, people are not disciplined enough to do that.
Oh, really?
You have to tax them, so they don't do it.
Yeah. Do you have like the system that you get money back for the plastic bottles and everything?
Um, I don't remember in Denmark. I do remember when I ran my store there, and I loved that system.
Yeah.
Um, you have
Have it here.
money
Yeah.
money on top of
Mm.
what you pay, and then people are forced to bring it back. And the ones who don't, I had this one kid. He must have been like 10, and I was in a in a tourist region of Denmark, and so in the summertime, this kid came with bottles, man, like. And his mother once said he's saving everything. And so now we're 20 years later, that guy, guaranteed that guy is super successful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I used to pay him like hundreds and hundreds.
Yeah.
Uh,
We used to live. My family used to live on the border between two states, and one of the states didn't have the deposit, I think the 5 cent
yeah,
deposit for the and then the other one did, and so you would just like and I lived like right on the border, like I like went to school in one state, and it wasn't even the state that I lived in, and so it's like you'd go to school and you'd be like, "Hey, everybody, give me all your bottles and stuff. I'm going back home to my state," and then yeah, you just like turn them in. So I was just like always carrying around like bottles and picking up, you know, collecting trash or whatever. Uh,
I I have to look it up what it is now in Denmark, but at that time, it was quite high. So we're not talking 5 cents. We're talking like, $1 or $2 per
What?
bottle.
That's
Yeah,
nuts.
but you get it back, right? It's not
Right.
lost, right? And so you just factor that in, and when you go to get your next supply of bottles, you get that money back, right? So it's just like it is. It's a deposit, right? So if you do your final round and you don't buy anything new, you're back at zero in terms of that deposit. But that's what made it so lucrative for this boy, right? He would just collect all those bottles from people who usually tourists, who didn't know. They would swear at me, "Oh, this is so expensive," right? They didn't understand that part of it is a deposit. You get it back. But the kid understood.
I mean, that works more like a bottle exchange or that kind of thing. It's like it's more like here I'm exchanging my old bottles for the new ones, so that I never really have to pay it again. But yeah, if the cost is that high, that's kind of the way that it ends up playing out.
And then Dan learned the hard way because the bottle that had the most deposit on was a half liter, Coke, Fanta, Sprite, that kind, had the most deposit on. And they, the return bottles. So I, as the cubman, it's called there, the merchant, when I buy it, I have to pay that deposit too, right? But I get it back when I buy the new lot. I give that back. And so I stored them out in the yard, and there was just a normal fence. And somebody who peeked over the fence must have clocked that. And so one day when I came into the yard, my huge stack of empty bottles was disappeared. And that is pure cash money. You can cash it in anywhere and you don't raise any suspicion, right? It's like you're returning bottles, right? And that was the last time I stored them out in the yard. It was a lot. It was, like, I don't know, just going to say something like $500 at least. That was just gone. Poof.
Shit.
Yeah, and I didn't hear anything. And obviously, this is 20 years ago. Nowadays you would have security cameras and the works, but I didn't have all of that. I didn't even have a dog in the yard or anything. So it was silent, silent. It could have been teenagers, couldn't have been anybody. They just
Yeah,
climbed
and
over
it's
the
not something
fence.
that you take in a minute, it takes some time.
Yeah, but then they're light, right? The crates are plastic, the bottles are plastic. You just hand them over the fence. If you're two people, easy. It was a good plan for them. Kudos, I must say, But for me, it was like, shit. Yeah, that's how you learn.
It's better than stealing my car. Once I got my car stolen while I was standing next to it.
Okay, so you
Yeah.
must have been looking the other way, though.
No. They pointed a gun in my face and they
Okay,
took it.
okay,
That's the other option. Yeah.
that's called
Yeah.
something different. That's carjacking.
Yeah, we were selling it, and it was a Audi S3, which was at that time pretty popular. And yeah, somebody just came and looked, and they were pretty polite and stuff, and on the phone really polite. And I was the only one home. They actually wanted to come the day before, and then my boyfriend picked up the phone, and they said, "Oh, we cannot come. Is it okay tomorrow?" And on the phone, he said, "Are you home tomorrow?" to me. And that was a mistake that we made. So I was home alone, and I was just living in a farm with a long driveway, like far away from everything. So they just came with a stolen car, parked it behind, and just had to look at the car. What you do when you sell, just everybody's looking at the
Yeah, of
car.
course.
And is it okay to go for a test drive? I was like, yeah, okay, fine. I'll go get the keys and put the dog inside. And that was that. They just drove off like this in the window.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that was not a good day.
Did you still have the title, or was the title in the vehicle
What?
to the
The
car?
paper for the car. They call it the title in the.
No, I had the half, and the other ones were still inside. So But I immediately I called the police because, well, of course you call the police, but like pretty fast, because I thought they were going to drive like across the border, and they immediately came. Like it was insane. I had like a whole CSI operation there. Like they're taking fingerprints of everything, and it was like, what is going on? And they actually called us back like 3 weeks later. They found the car, and it was just standing in Brussels along a busy road. Just it, it seemed that they would just only use it to rob something and then park it back somewhere at the road, and they were still intact, like nothing was touched, still the same CDs in the player, nothing strange. But
That makes sense that they would do something like that with it.
yeah, it's a fast car, so that was why they.
Yeah, and you don't have to, like steal it because the person just gives you the keys, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, but that I learned a lesson there. I never sell a car anymore in like a private setting. I always take them to a public or in front of the police station or anything. I just don't do that anymore.
Yeah, or even I ended up then not even to sell to private, just to a dealer. I had mostly negative experiences when I bought from private or sold to private.
Same, but then when you're on a small budget, you
Yeah.
kind of need to do that. Yeah.
How's it in Texas?
Oh, they just chop up your car before you even have a chance to even know what the hell happened to it.
Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah.
'Cause we have tons of like hidden shops just like freaking everywhere. Like when TikTok, like about 2 years ago, TikTok was like full of like, here's how you can unlock Kias and and Hyundais. I was like, oh, you can
Oh,
do it without keys, and you can start them. And yeah, like my uh, the partner I was with beforehand or whatever, I'd bought in her a Hyundai, and yep, sure enough, it got stolen, and it was already broken down. Like she wasn't really driving it anymore. She bought a Kia instead, and they stole both. So it's like they stole the broken, like the old down, more like broken down car. That it still worked, but like it was on its last leg. They stole that one, and they stole the Kia because it was both just like here in the same parking lot in an apartment complex. And yeah, they both got chopped up. And they both, I mean, like they couldn't, they're just nowhere to be found. So
how they probably file off serial numbers and VIN numbers and stuff, right? For
yeah,
where it's
yeah, and I mean, like in Texas particularly, like there's so many small, uh, unlicensed, like regulated, just like like auto repair places with you know small, like just somebody from Mexico who knows how to work on cars, kind of thing. And so there's a big market for like no, Mexicans, and I'm not racist or anything like that, but yeah, like
no.
like when they're like selling, to their you know aunt or uncle or just whoever
Yeah,
their
yeah, yeah,
friends and family and everything. It's like not like anybody's like checking anything in that kind of circumstance. And so
yeah.
since there's such a large population of that kind of thing here, then um, yeah, it's just, I mean, it's impossible to kind of regulate or police or anything. That's why our insurance rates are just like ginormous here.
How's it for Keith in Oregon?
Um, you gotta okay. So most of the time, whenever my wife wants to do a trade, if it's with another mom, she wants me to be there if it's going to be at home. But then in the moms group, which she's a part of, something similar to what happened to Mindy happened to her. She had something that she was trying to sell, and the mom came with her husband, and they just bullied the lady and took the stuff. So from then on, my wife always meets people at some sort of neutral area. Um, we do have some stuff that we'll give away sometimes. Like we gave away a washer that was defunct, like the heating element the wires had come off, and I'm not somebody who can fix that stuff. Paying somebody to fix it would have costed half the cost of the washer, or dryer rather, dryer. So we were just like, let's just get a new dryer, because it doesn't make sense to pay half the cost when we could just buy a new one and then have a warranty. And we changed the brand because the brand we had bought was known to have those kind of issues. So we bought a brand that should last for 10 years. So back on topic. We did have a car that we had somebody come up and just take, but that was something we agreed to for scrapping, because the value of the vehicle was under $500, and the whole process of selling it would be more of a headache than just allowing somebody to take it for scrap. But yeah, generally speaking, you got to be kind of careful. You don't want people to case your place, you know. Especially with me, I've got tools and stuff sitting out. I should get it cleaned up. It's something I need to do anyways for the insurance. But I'm also working on. I'm doing a change with my school group, so it's something I gotta focus on. So
I guess for all of us, we learn through experience like that, right? Hearing it, it's like, yeah, of course you don't do that, but unless it has happened to you, that's when you're like, okay, I'm not gonna try that again.
Yeah. Plus, sometimes bad people just move into the area and then they start hitting a bunch of people. I mean, there is something very well known going on in the U.S. and it's in our area, and it's something that we're aware of too. So, and my wife works in the school district, so it's something she has to be concerned about too. So it's just another layer of things to be concerned about as far as like safety and keeping an eye out and staying away from bad actors, I guess is the way they say it.
Yeah.
I grew up in the ghetto, like South Dallas, where I grew up, is like didn't get much rougher than that. So I mean, like I grew up being a hoodlum and around hoodlums, and it's always just like my awareness levels through the roof as far as like, nah, I'm not putting this here. I'm not putting anything anywhere. I'm not putting myself in any kind of dangerous situation. Because yeah, I mean the kind of stuff I got into when I was a kid, and like, yeah, I mean my brother was always like in the criminal world aspect of things, through you know, substances and stuff. And so yeah, I was always just like, here, you know, you always just kind of like understand that. I mean, I've been robbed at gunpoint in my house and things like that. It's like just ridiculous.
Yeah, I've never dealt with that. That would be terrifying.
Yeah, but when you're kind of used to, when you grew up that way, it's like it's like I wasn't terrified. It was just like, oh, this is happening. This is finally happening. You know,
I'm more terrified of what I might do. Since I've never been tested in that situation, I don't know what I would do. And I don't know what the split second, my heart rate's already going up just thinking about it. I don't know what the split second Keith would do in the concept of losing something that has a certain amount of value. My mindset is starting to shift. So like before, when I was really poor, stuff that's valuable is like way more valuable than it is now. And a life, of course, is invaluable. But in that split second, like maybe I could take this guy, you know, maybe I could stop this. And I don't know what I would do. I've never been tested. So, yeah.
The hardest part is whenever you're like when you're put in that situation where it's just like, you know, you can't get any help from like the police or anything. Anything that happens here is like already, you know,
It's
under
too
the
late. They won't get
black market kind of thing. It's just like here. I mean, like you can't. You're a criminal. You can't call the police and be like, "Hey, all of the stuff got." It's like, okay, well, like, so it's just like when you're in that kind of situation, it's just like you're just like, all right, well, nothing. I mean, but that's when you're like your mindset like that triggers. It's like if I don't do something right now, there's like, this is it. You know, it's like it's up to me to like, you know, figure this out. And yeah, that's the hardest thing when it's like when that's the thought that's going through your head, where it's just like you know, either let this happen or like do something about it. But I mean, like, there, you know, no other way out of it other than like, okay, here, actually, maybe I can do something about it.
I would. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, so I've discovered a a few times on my run towards. Yeah, and one I really regret. I mean, John and I were sat in a pub, and this one I didn't even see. I didn't even see any problem. This guy was telling another guy, big giant guys, that he was going to glass him in the face. So I took his glass. There were people outside, workmen, shouting and swearing and gonna fight just a few weeks ago, and I just got in the middle of them and spoke to them like they were my dogs fighting. Just enough, and they just stopped. But the one I regret is when the kids were at home and there was a lot of commotion outside the house. We were living in East London at the time. There was a lot of commotion outside the house, and I looked out the window and I said, "Oh, someone's in trouble. They're beating this guy up." Anyway, this car had pulled up outside ours. This guy, they were doing whatever they were doing to him. And I'm like, "We got to help him." John's like, "Leave it." I said, "No, we got to help him." And leave it. So anyway, couldn't leave it because I thought I was helping him. And this guy came into the house just pouring with blood. And I didn't even look at him. The kids were sat on top of a chest freezer that we had. It was all open plan, tiny little place, beige carpet, absolutely covered in blood. And I'm giving him like a tea towel to wrap around his cuts because he had big gashes. And then when I kind of looked up, it was huge gashes in his head and here, and he had it was an axe that they were using. They weren't punching him. It was an axe. But when I did look up at him, I just went cold because I thought, "You're a bad man." It was the first time I'd actually looked at him, and I will never do that again because I put my kids in danger. I put John's daughter in danger by bringing him in. John just piled him into a car, and these people had come around and tried to get into his car. And John's just like, "On your bike." And he dropped him off at the hospital, this guy. But just like, as you see in the movies, just dropped him right there. And the next day, the kids were outside, just like while I'm cleaning up the blood off the carpet, and they're playing snail races on the front door, and this car pulled up. And I just went outside and I stood in front of the kids. But I think it was the guy's other half was just sort of like nodded in a thank you kind of a way. And that was the last we ever saw of him. But oh my God, when I looked at him and saw how "You're a bad man." And yeah, that was it. I swore I would never, if the kids were around, put them in danger like that again. I would have to think. I just didn't think. I just wanted to help.
Yeah, it's instincts, right? And what you just shared, like you wouldn't do that again because of endangering the kids, is what I
Yes.
wanted to say for Keith. The Keith now, what would you do if you're single versus you're not single now, right? So it's about protecting the tribe. Like,
Yeah.
it's your family. You just let go
Family
of
first.
whatever it is. And for Evan, our East London will be your South Dallas kind of thing.
Yeah, I pieced that together. But
Yeah.
yeah,
The West End is where you have all the nice areas, right? And the East End, it goes towards the sea, the big, what's it called, an isthmus, where the harbors are and all of that.
yeah.
To various degrees of roughness, right? It's not necessarily same bad. Meanwhile, south is also places where you don't want to go.
Yeah, if you look at most of the major city centers or whatever, it still follows that, like, that is the typical dynamic, where it's like the north side is the nicer one and the south side is, and I thought
Yeah.
that was interesting when you look at that.
Yeah,
Mm.
I haven't been to Dallas, but in Chicago, I was told, don't go to the south side, just
Yeah.
stay north of this road or whatever it was.
Oh.
Yeah. Beautiful people, we've reached our time, and yeah, we'll see each other again on Skool Buddies Live next year.
Next year, see you next year.
Have a good
Yes, see you
Christmas
next
and
year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy old year.
Bye.
Best get cleaning.